You gorgeous man.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Flying Pig United. I was about to say thick like fam. I was about to say something stupid, but anyways, we're out here live. What's going on, guys? Obviously, I'm not Maisie, so you guys are gonna have to stay with me, stay locked in. We're gonna have a great time. I got a fantastic panel with me today. Of course, I'm not from England. I'm from America. You're going to have to just let it slide. For those of you guys that are OGs in the Flying Pig United community, you guys might recognize me from the old days of calling Mr. Flying Pig HD a twat. I was later corrected that it was actually pronounced twat. But anyways, welcome. My name is John Shin. I will be the host for today. We got lots of important discussions that I feel like needs to be had with a fantastic panel. I got Nathan here. I got Solo. I got G Wolf. I got Mr. K Slater. I got Jared. I got a whole squad with me. So make sure if you guys are tuning in live, thank you so much. Make sure you guys drop a comment. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys like this? Do you guys like this new not Maisie vibe? Let me know in the chat. If not, keep it to yourself.
Hashtag Maisie out. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. That's not what we're doing here. That's not.
John is coming in already. See this? This is the waves. This is the waves that he's starting.
Yeah, gone blazing. And we got to say Hugh Hefner is in the building as well.
Yes, sir. I was about to get to that. Mr. G Wolf, that's pretty sexy.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, we're going to get straight into it. Let's get stuck into this. Joe's giving me like 1,000 things to talk about, but we'll start off straight away with the conversation a little bit about the performance against Leicester. Of course, Manchester United drew against Leicester City. It was another performance that felt like a story of our season so far. Inconsistency, individual errors here and there, a lack of creativity, a lack of direction. Whatever word you'd like to use to describe this performance, it was one of those things that for me, at least personally, I feel like I'm just kind of hoping that we can sort of wrap this season in. Of course, the run-in is going to be a difficult run-in for us, but hopefully we can end the season on a high, but it just feels more and more like that might not be the case. We'll start off with you. Nathan. I really like the energy that you showed me earlier on in the stream. So we'll start off with you. Just give me your thoughts on the performance against Leicester. What did you think?
Unfortunately, the energy I gave you at the start of the stream does not match the performance against Leicester. So
that's great.
It was one of them. I think I made a comment on the Leeds preview about how it seemed as though no one this year really wants top four. And you can kind of see it was a case in point against Leicester. Just there was no effort, no desire whatsoever. I think a lot of these players are on their holiday, so to speak. Obviously, there's we're coming to talk about managerial situation. I think most of them are sat there just sort of they don't know who's coming in, who's what. But I sort of thought like this was going to be the case, even when Ollie was going to be sat there. A lot of this was going to be put on the players in terms of now the manager's gone, it's up to you to try and perform for the rest of the season. They clearly haven't done that. But the game against Leicester, it was like it's just weird to describe it. In all honesty, like international breaks completely just blank my memory. I can't actually remember what happened in that game. If I'm truthfully be honest, because like international breaks completely gone. But yeah, from what I unfortunately remember, just lackluster, just uninspiring, and obviously it sort of helped in the fact that teams around United have dropped points that gives United a sliver of chance of top four. But now it's just up to United to try and capitalise on that, but I don't see it happening.
Totally agree with that.
I was going to say, you came in the stream right backstage. You were buzzing. You had energy, yeah. And the minute we start talking about Man United, it just went.
Yeah, it's a sort of recurring theme on that. It's like away from United, everyone's like, do you know what? It's nice and sunny outside. As soon as you watch United, it's like, oh Jesus Christ, here we go again. The rain clouds are coming, but yeah, it's just.
Solo, what do you think about that performance?
It's the hope of the game, the hope of the good performance, and then it's like, oh yeah, we played a match against Leicester, and and Leicester came at us, right? And then and we ended up drawing, and it's like, oh, that's right. That's what we're used to now in performances.
Yeah, and going against a team like Leicester City, who in fairness, they have been a consistently decent performing side over the years. This season, they haven't been all that great. But going against the Leicester City side, who we thought maybe Manchester United, if they had a point to prove at least, we were gonna go for the throw. We're gonna go for the jugular. Solo, we're gonna come to you. What did you think? Do you think there's like individual performances that need improving? Do you think it was just a rangnick performance? What do you think? Shed some more light on this.
For Leicester City, we got to remember, United haven't beaten Leicester City for the past 4 games. So it's no coincidental that we were on our podcast and we were talking about it. And for us, is a point for me was good enough in that game, because the performance right now for Manchester United, you don't know what Man United team's going to turn up. Leicester had injuries, but Man United is individual brilliance. Week in, week out is just individual brilliance. We're not a team. We don't play as a unit together. And for me, we're talking about the manager, what manager is coming in. These guys are playing for the future at the club right now. That's what they're playing for. Right now, looking at those players on the pitch against Leicester City, apart from probably 2 players that stood out to me in that whole game, they're the 2 that need to be in contention when a new manager come in. The rest of the team, for me, in my opinion, can leave. I don't think they're good enough collectively as a team. And if these guys now have been playing together, 2-3 seasons together now, right? There's 1 or 2 players that just came in the squad. So if you've been playing this bad for the last 2 or 3 seasons, bringing a couple of players, and then they're making those players who just come in looking even worse than before, it's showing the spine of the team needs to go. It has to go.
Sure. I'm just going to get into the comments before I swing over to Jared and Mr. G Wolf here. We got Niall? Is that the way to pronounce
Niall.
it?
Yeah,
Niall says,
Niall.
bring back Maisie. Look, you could already tell. I can't even pronounce names right. So if Maisie was
out.
you know what? Hashtag John out. I'm okay with that. I'm here for that. Hashtag John out. Bring back Maisie. Maisie's amazing. I love watching her on here. She actually keeps things very smooth.
She's got a fan club. Niall's the king.
Oh, is that
Niall's the king? Yeah, she has got a fan club.
All right, Bacon Brigade. I get you. Gungshi in the chat says, hi, guys. Eddie's Football Waffle. Eddie in the chat saying, lol, hashtag Maisie in. All right, I need some better John hashtags here. Griffo chat says, John Shin. It's John Shin, but he says, you can have my children anytime you want. Look, I don't want to talk about no damn children right now because
Griffo, man, we need to have a word after this stream about your thing.
I want to talk a little bit about just the fact that Manchester United seems to find themselves in a more difficult position now more than ever to finish in the top 4. But with Leicester's performance and, of course, Everton coming up, Mr. G Wolf, I'll bring it over to you now. Do you think Manchester United have a chance to finish in the top 4, or do you think it's just over for us at this point?
I don't think it's over. I think with the teams around us dropping points as well, as I think it was either Nathan or
Solo or myself.
Solo, sorry. First time being with you, dude. So getting used to the names. So between you two, I think it was one of you two who said you've got slimmer of a chance to get into it. Now, if Man United can literally find some sort of momentum in trying to get in the top 4, then why can't we? Why can't we get into the top 4 this season? It's like, Chelsea are dropping points right, left, and centre. Even if they drop points and say Arsenal or Tottenham gain momentum with the rest of us, then they'll be out of the top 4.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it'd be great to see the competitors around us continue to drop points. But I think at the end of the day, our destiny should be decided by our own hands. I mean, our own pair of balls. And if we can't continue to get all 3 points throughout the entirety of the season that remains, I think we don't even deserve top 4 at this rate. That performance against Leicester was one of those performances where we needed to get 3 points, and we did not do so. I'm going to swing over to you, Jared. By the way, Jared is a special panel here. You guys are all special in my heart, but Jared's a bit extra special because he also supports my work. You know what I'm saying? On the Thick Leg Fam end. I know y'all Bacon Brigade is out here, but my work, Thick Leg Fam, Jared is my number 1 guy. But Jared, I'm coming to you. Do you think Manchester United have a chance of finishing in the top 4 this season? If not, just give it to me real. You can be positive, negative.
I wish I could say that I believed that we could, but I don't think any consistent part of the season has shown us that we can, over 7-8 games, produce results that are consistent with that goal. And so in my heart, I say no. You want me straight? I say no.
Okay. That's fine. I think
The run in. I said the run in actually favors for me Spurs. Their schedule favors Spurs.
Right. Yes. If we look at,
Don't think we can scrape it. At least.
if we can scrape it, it has to show starting now. I mean, it had to start a few games ago, but it has to start now. Against Everton, we need to make sure we have a strong response, especially after that dire performance against Leicester City.
It's like Everton got beat by Burnley, didn't they?
No, exactly. So, the performances are
if Burnley can beat them, surely United can beat them.
Well,
let's rewind. Let's rewind this one now. Let's rewind this one, yeah? Top 4 for me isn't out of the question at the moment. It's still possibility. It could be one of these ones where we're struggling and all of a sudden the Messiah, he's back tomorrow. Apparently he trained. So he's back, yeah? Imagine he goes get a brace and then get us on this nice little run and just squeeze us into that top 4. But I do understand what the panels are saying. Everyone's saying, we're Manchester United. And I always say now how the mighty has fallen. And we are now relying on teams around us to basically drop points because we have been that bad this season to try and sneak into that top 4. But if we get into top 4, for me, I don't think it's warrant us getting in the top 4. And the reason being, I just don't think we're good enough at the moment to play in Champions League. I honestly think what we need to do, and as a United fan, some people might boo me or criticize me in the comments, but I think with the new manager coming in, which we'll talk about later on, it's almost like a reset. We need to get some young players in, get rid of some of these old players because they're just not fit enough to wear the shirt. Physically not fit enough at all. So let's hit the reset button. If we finish 7th in Europa League, give it to the youngsters. Let the youngsters play in the Europa League, yeah? And then work with the other players we've got for the Premier League and the other cup competition. Because right now, as a Man United fan, we've got to get back to levels. On our level, we're top 7 club at best right now.
Yeah, I mean, the energy...
Sorry, it's not even Europa League, would it be? It'd be Conference League if you finish 7th.
You go, even better. Wow.
But I sort of sit there and think, would it be like a slight blessing in disguise if United somehow finish 8th? If you want a full reset, you could probably have a better reset that way, maybe finishing 8th than finishing, say, getting Europa League football, because you can literally just have a full crack at the Premier League. Not like win it, obviously. I meant like, get back in the top 4, just proper have a factory reset. This is going to take time with the new manager coming in.
Right. I'm just going to read this comment here from Scalzi Red. Scalzi says, United and Everton fan channels both smell blood but hold doubt. For me, United have a team the top 3 wouldn't raid. Everton have a team the whole Prem wouldn't raid. Now, that energy is chaotic in all stretch of the imagination. I was actually on another fan channel. We were doing a live preview, and I was discussing with a Everton fan. We were talking about each other's feelings about how we think the game is going to play out. Both teams feel like there is an element of a chance where the opposition can capitulate, or they're just going to take over the entirety of the game. It just goes to show the state of both fans, Manchester United fans in particular, sharing that element of like similarity in this disastrous state that each clubs are in, respectively, for different reasons, of course. But I got another comment here that I actually wanted to read. I think it's a very important comment. Eddie says, John, for real, big up to you. You got a good style hosting. It's very important. Yeah.
Comments all about that
you
one.
should see his hat collection. It's incredible.
Just had to get that in there. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the selection of the team. Of course, Rangnick was questioned because in the game against Leicester City, Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't available. And with the forward options that we have in the squad at our disposal, we still lined up without a natural, or the closest thing to a natural striker. We lined up with Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, as opposed to starting somebody like Marcus Rashford. Joe asked me to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm going to take over this thing. What are your thoughts about Marcus Rashford? I really want to get your thoughts. In chat, you guys let me know your thoughts on Marcus Rashford, because I feel like this is a discussion that needs to be had. And I'll come to you first, Solo. What do you think? Do you think Marcus Rashford is just going through a phase right now where it's going to get better later down the line, or do you think this is just a real disastrous point in his career at Manchester United and things are about to be really, really negative?
Honestly, I don't think it's going to be a negative thing for Marcus Rashford. I've said it numerous occasions before on other podcasts, my own podcast as well. I think right now with Marcus Rashford, you got to remember how many managers he's been with. He's been with LVG, Louis van Gaal. He's been with Jose Mourinho, Solskjaer, and now interim manager. That's 4 managers with different playing style, different coaching style. And with what do you do? How do you do it? I know people are saying football's a simple game, but if you're used to one way, one system, and then all of a sudden, a few months later, you're playing another system. I remember when Rangnick first came in, and I'm watching him in the first game, and it's almost like he was hugging the byline, where Rangnick was trying to push him more into the centre, and he was just sitting there. He looked lost. Marcus Rashford is a great player. We as fans, the expectation level of us Man United fan now is through the roof. And I don't think we should be looking at sort of those levels, because as a team combined, there's no confidence within a team. So if the team's not confident, Marcus Rashford's not going to be confident. There's probably other stuff going on in Marcus Rashford's personal life, which we don't know about. Mental health is one of them. So for us, yes, people sit there and say Marcus Rashford shouldn't be starting for Man United, or we should sell him, or there's rumours linked and everything else. Also with that as well, Marcus Rashford's contract's coming to an end. He's got about 1.5 years left on his contract. His brother apparently now is trying to get a deal. But for me, you can't give Marcus Rashford a deal without performance. Man United board has this stigma about them where they go out and they give players contract before there's actually a new manager in place. Again, Phil Jones, they've done it with. They did it with Bruno Fernandes recently. Now you got Marcus Rashford on the verge. He's kicking off a stink. Whether or not he's kicking off a stink or his agent's kicking off a stink about a new contract, we're not sure. But I just believe there's a player in Marcus Rashford. He's a player that's a confident player. And when I mean by confident player, he's a player that you want to put arm around. And okay, Marcus Rashford, it all be okay. Oh, this is what you need, Marcus Rashford. Because rumor is Rangnick isn't that person. He's not a person that you put your arm around and sort of like, yep, everything's going to be good, everything's going to be better. With Solskjaer, he had his best season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is Mr. Nice Guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess to an extent, of course. But Nathan, I'm going to come to you. What do you think? Do you share the same sentiment as Solo? Do you think we should put an arm around Marcus Rashford? Do you think he should continue to play games? The conversation has always been around the fact that he's completely devoid of confidence right now. He is absolutely dried out when it comes to the confidence aspect of things. Do you continue to play him, or do you take him out? I won't even get too much on the contract discussion right now. In the games that we have left, do you start him or do you bench him?
Well, it seems weird now. Like Solo made a good point about how Rashford's best season when the Solskjaer. I got to remember during those seasons as well. He was playing for like a broken back or something like that, wasn't it? He had an injury for like 2 years or whatnot, and then like he goes for some reason. I never understood the sort of mentality from Southgate by doing this, by calling him up for the Euros, but he could have literally just gone off, had his surgery, come back, had a full pre-season worth, and he would probably be a bit more up to speed than what we're showing. We don't know whether that's a case of the lack of pre-season finally catching up to him. I think with Rashford though, I think when other people are back, say like the likes of Ronaldo or Cavani wants to come back from his fishing trip in Uruguay at one point, you know what I mean, just have a kick about, why not? You know, they're probably ahead of him, but to not start him against Leicester was so baffling to me, because it's like you need an outlet. You know, Rashford, admittedly, like he's not sort of played the sort of centre forward role in a while, but he at least knows how to sort of get behind the defence and that. Whereas like against Leicester, throughout the first half, I was a bit confused to who was actually supposed to be the number 9. It was either Pogba at one point or Bruno, you know. But I think with Rashford, just and by the way, I think you might have to just let it play out and see what. I think now, since the end of the season's coming up, I think maybe just needs a full and pre-season to actually recover. But in terms of a new contract, again, I agree with Solo, and this is an actual stem of the problem at the club, is that United have been rewarding players contracts who probably don't deserve it based on performances. You know, it's like there's talk to Luke Shaw getting a new contract, and it's like, you know, he's already the highest paid fullback in world football. He shouldn't be getting a contract. Bruno, I slightly disagree with, because you say like without Bruno, the last couple of years, argue where United would be, because he has contributed a lot to sort of maybe warrant a new deal ahead of the likes of Rashford or Shaw. But no, in terms of Rashford, I see the comment just pop up there about like he needs to leave, and I think you sort of, as a new manager comes in, you see what they want to do with him. If he decides that Rashford isn't good enough, then he leaves. But it's not going to be a case of he leaves on bad terms.
Right.
It might be a case that he needs a break away from it all.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, we'll save the conversation about the potential incoming manager and what his decisions are for a later time. Mr. G Wolf, I'll come to you. Niall here says, I think Rashford needs to leave because for me his heart isn't in it anymore, in my opinion. Do you agree with this statement? Do you think Rashford is done at Manchester United, or do you think it's just one of those like mental blocks that he's having?
I agree with part of it. I think at the moment with his off the ball stuff that he's been doing, right, away from football, and then also trying to play football as well, I think that's when his heart isn't in it, if that makes sense. Like, you know, literally when he plays football, literally you see him do the ones, but he hasn't shown me what he was 2 or 3 years ago. And to me, that's when I think, nah, since lockdown, his heart hasn't been in it. He's like, you know, might have stuff like since he's been, to me, since he's had the OBE or the, you know, MBE, since he's had that, literally, it's like, oh, football doesn't matter no more. I got that.
See,
Forget
that's
about everything else.
certain fans think that his activities outside of football has definitely been one of the major reasons as to why he's been performing poorly. That potentially, in the ideal world that we live in, that potentially could have an effect in his performance on the pitch. However, I think it's very important that Manchester United fans and our panel today, I think we would like to let the viewers that are listening know that at the end of the day, as much as we support Marcus Rashford both on and off the pitch, we want what's best for him. And if we're not seeing that from him on the pitch, whether it be because of his outside activities away from the pitch, or he's suffering from mental issues, or a combination of all, we just want to emphasize and point out the fact that we'd like to see Marcus Rashford do well. But before we move on from this, Jared, I want to come to you. Griffo Chazier says, Marcus Rashford has shown me enough in his previous seasons to give him enough time to rediscover his form. Time is running out for him, though. Do you agree with the sentiment? Do you think he's gone? Do you think he has more time? What do you think?
I think he has more time because I think he has one thing that all of the rest of our players don't have, and that's speed. I would give him that year and give him that year under hopefully Ten Hag, right? To find some, because I think it is a confidence issue. I think your mind can influence your body language and your actions. And we all have seen Marcus when he's come onto the pitch, right? Or after a play. And we've never said, oh, that's like, he looks happy, he looks ready to receive. His body language and his confidence to me says, I don't feel that I can do it, or I'm not being put in the right positions. And I'm hoping that a new manager that comes in, a healthy preseason for him, a summer of rest where he doesn't have to worry about surgeries or Euros. He does have to think about the World Cup, but he can have this time to rest. I want him to come back, and I want him to be given that time, because I think we can rescue him. We can, but it's going to take Marcus believing in himself as well, in addition to the club.
And as you said with the club as well, we're from the outside, so we can't look in as well. I wonder if the club's doing enough for Marcus Rashford to get Marcus Rashford back up to speed, because obviously we talk about mental health, and mental health is very serious at the moment as well. Surrounding, we got to think Marcus Rashford burst on the scene, Michelin 2 goals, then he scored 2 goals against Arsenal, and then here comes Marcus Rashford, the next big thing in England. I do understand what a lot of you guys are saying on the panel about sort of since he's been doing the lockdown and he's been sort of feeding the sort of like the kids and stuff like that. But for me, it's not about that at all. For me, has to be other things going on in his personal life, because I think Marcus Rashford is a Manchester United, he's a Mancunian, born and bred, and he will try his hardest to push the boundaries, the barriers, to get back to that level of what we expect to be Marcus Rashford. And he will come back. Marcus Rashford will come back. It's we can't sit there and say,
he's still young as well.
23 years old. 23 years old.
24.
Is it 24? Yeah, 24, yeah. So
Yeah,
why?
24.
Why are we sitting there criticizing him? Let him be.
He's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders because I feel like he started at such a young age. He came bursting through the scenes. Louis van Gaal needed somebody, and he just pulled him out from the youth ranks just to throw him into the mix. And he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulder. As 8'5", 6'3" Robbie says, Rashford looks like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. And I know how that feels. I've been over 300 pounds. I know how that feels. That weight is heavy. And when you're running on that pitch, let me tell you, it ain't fun. This whole situation kind of feels to me like, when you go on a date, and it's the first time you're on a date with a girl, we're having a great time. You meet, you have a great time before you meet, and you finally meet.
This directly to G-Wolf, by the way, we see you.
You pull up with the Manchester United robe. You're looking sexy. You're ready to have a great night. And then as soon as you sit down, you're about to order, and then you fart. That's how this feels like. You just fart, and you just got to keep it moving. The date has to happen. You got to sit down, talk about each other's families, have a good time. But she knows you farted. You know what I mean? This is how this season feels like. We just have to carry on, go forward. It was a horrible, horrible take. I apologize, but it just feels like we just have to go on and just see the end, at least for this season. Mickey in the chat saying, no deal for Rashi or Shaw. They have been poor and need to rediscover form to be rewarded. IMO. Tekken fan 9, go ahead.
I just want to say, if she doesn't leave halfway through the date, I really can't relate to your.
I'm saying,
I'm just used to her walking out halfway through.
Walk. No, halfway. You're giving it halfway. Gone. The minute you've done it, gone. It's over.
The only thing is, if she stays, she's a keeper, yeah?
Oh,
there you go.
Jesus.
Tekken fan 1997 says, I think Rashford better be off somewhere else. The conversation, the actual opinions in the chat is pretty mixed. Some people are for Rashford staying. Some people are against Rashford staying. Susan Lively Sue says Rashford is a great player. I believe it is a confidence and a mental issue. We'll wrap up the Rashford conversation here. Like I said, Rashford, if you're ever listening, because I know you watch Flying Pig United, just know we're looking out for you, my man.
Can I just like say something as well? Do you think it doesn't help that we have this United have this weird fetish as a club? Doesn't matter who the management regime is, to stick him on the right as well. I've never seen such a when you put him on the right hand side, he just looks so devoid of, and I know obviously players are supposed to adapt this, that, and the other, but it's been 3 or 4 years now, and which no sort of coach in the previous regime's going, you know what, I don't think this lad looks good on the right hand side. It's one of those situations. It's one of those situations. We're gonna move on from this Rashford conversation, but if I may just kind of wrap this up. I think it's one of those situations where I feel like Manchester United right now have been through so many transitional periods that we as a team, at least from an 11 perspective on that pitch, have no idea who's best in what position. Maybe there are certain elements where if for instance, if Jadon Sancho and Elanga is available and Marcus Rashford tends to be available, one of them is better in one position over the other, and things just need to be thrown around. But you need to be that kind of player who has the ability to accept that role of versatility. We have two players in this team right now that is just being tossed around everywhere, and we clearly can see that they don't have a place right now with respect to their identity on the pitch, and B, don't know what their role is. Pogba and Rashford are two clear examples of that situation. Pogba's been thrown around left, right, middle, up, down, behind me, in front of me, in the living room, in the kitchen, in the bathroom. He's everywhere. We've thrown him around everywhere. Same kind of vibe goes around for Marcus Rashford. And I think the important thing for the next manager that comes into Manchester United, it doesn't matter if it's Ten Hag or Pochettino, it could be my grandma for all I care. The next person coming in needs to really identify these key roles. It's not an easy thing to be a versatile player. We've seen that time and again. And I think, I'm not trying to give away my age here, but I think players like John O'Shea and players like of that versatility, that quality is underrated. And you just don't see that these days. But we're going to move on. We'll leave Marcus Rashford here. Let him do his thing. We want to talk a little bit about Cristiano Ronaldo, and we'll just get a quick reaction from you guys. Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, missing last game due to illness. He is likely going to return to the squad and likely going to return straight into the 11. How important has he been for you in terms of his presence and his performances for Manchester United? And I'll start with you, Solo. How has he been for you?
Ronaldo, Viva Ronaldo. For me, listen, for me, Cristiano Ronaldo is a GOAT, and that's what I look at him. But my only issue with Ronaldo is he's come back into the Man United team, and he's a born winner. So because he's a born winner, these guys who's been at the club for God knows how many years, they haven't won nothing really, have they? So he's gone in with a winning mentality. He's looking at the coaching, the coaching staff. He's now saying the coaching staff's just not good enough for Manchester United as Man United level. He's then looking at the players, saying the players ain't training hard enough. For the amount of money we spoke about, Luke Shaw, probably one of the highest paid player in world football at left back. But yet he's going in training, start training at 8 o'clock and leaving training at what? 11 a.m. Sorry. Then you have other players out there and other teams out there who's training three times a day. Now, for me, Cristiano Ronaldo has walked into Manchester United. He's lifted the club, lifted them up. Without Ronaldo's goals this season, we wouldn't have finished where we're finishing the Champions League. Without Ronaldo, I think, if I'm right to say, is it 14 points we've received this season from Ronaldo in the Premier League.
So do you? So I'm going to cut you off. Right, sorry to cut you off here, but do you think then, if that's the case, do you think Cristiano Ronaldo, if he is available, do we slot him right back in? And
100% has to go straight back in. You cannot. It showed the last game against Leicester City. We don't have, like you just said a minute ago, you got players. We played with a false number 9. And when we had Marcus Rashford on the bench, so it's showing the lack of quality Manchester United have in the third half right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to play Ronaldo. Even a 50% Ronaldo, you got to play him.
Jared, what do you think? You could hop in on that.
I'm just I'm impressed by the fact that when he came in, we were like, okay, we can have him start, right? But we also have Edison Cavani. We also have your nemesis, right? Tony Marshall, right? Then
we don't speak of that name here.
we have Mason, right? We have all of these options, and then throughout the season, they've just, through injury, through his off-field issues, all of these things have gone away. And what do we have? We have the constant of Cristiano Ronaldo saying, I want to play. I'm going to get myself healthy every match, put myself in a position to be available for Manchester United to choose me. Now, some people may criticize his attitude. They may criticize what he, his body language on the field, but you can't criticize the way that he puts himself and tries to get himself healthy for every match for us. And this particular season, he's been critical. He's been critical for getting us as many points in and getting us as far as we were in the Champions League too. I would put him in tomorrow, just like Solo.
Nathan, I'll come swing over to you, but before I do, we have a super chat here from 0 Degrees. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the 5. If you put rotten fruit next to fresh fruit starts to rot too. Bars. That's hot. That's spit. You spitting right there, my man.
Boom.
Boom.
Understand it.
Higher level.
Mm-hmm. That's right up there. Exactly what's been going on at our club. 0 Degrees. Thank you for the 5 again. I think 0 Degrees is just kind of expressing the fans' sentiment in the sense that if there are certain situations, certain problems at the club, it's only going to spread that problem if it's not nipped in the bud, if it's not taken care of in that immediate moment. And we're just kind of at a point, like I said before, just got to ride out the date. You know what I mean? You got to talk about the date. You got to talk about the family. You got to talk about what's your favorite color. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. But anyways, Nathan, I'll come to you. We'll go back to Ronaldo. Avenger Master here says Ronaldo is still the man. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think for next season there needs to be a bit more of we need to do how we need to have options to sort of help the fact that he can't play week in, week out, because obviously like Jared said at the start of the season, if you list the options United did have, you sort of think, okay, you're well stacked in that department, and then slowly throughout the season we're literally left with just Ronaldo now coming towards an important stage of the season. I think what it is though is that it's been this season more often than any other I've ever seen, that like dressing room leaks, like since Ronaldo's joined, like come back, it's been so like, also I'm not saying it's Ronaldo doing it by the way, but like it's been so sort of frequent more than usual, because obviously as I said, is that Ronaldo's come in with a winning mentality. It's very hard for, after what all he's accomplished in his career, to drop that bar back to a level where he's playing with players who've been on relegation teams, by the way. So, you have to take it out of that. But yeah, Ronaldo's still, it looks as though he's going to stay for another season.
Mm-hmm.
from what we've sort of seen. And yeah, I think come now towards the end of the season with Ronaldo being the option, you have to sort of utilize him as best as you can. Obviously, there needs to be at times where you sort of manage him a bit better. I would say to sort of say look, maybe you're not going to be. That's why say playing the likes of Rashford up top for a game or two might be a better option to go right. Ronaldo can come back, say against Chelsea, the second last game of the season, still something to play for. Perform well since he's been rested. But yeah, Ronaldo's still Ronaldo. He's still scoring goals
Exactly.
at that age, and you can argue as well he's not had like there's. I don't know if you've seen it. There's been like sort of clips around where Ronaldo will make like little certain runs, and no one in the team has the quality to like just pick your head up, pick him out.
Ping the ball out.
If he's at City, they're just like, yeah, done, bang, goal, 2-3-0. But yeah, Ronaldo's still Ronaldo, isn't he? So yeah.
Sorry to cut you there, but I know you just said there's a possibility of Ronaldo staying next season. I don't think Ronaldo will stay next season if we don't get in Champions League, because I believe I think there is something in his clause in his contract. Reports are if we don't make Champions League, he's gone. Also, if we don't make Champions League as well, he loses 5 million.
All right, he'll have a sponsorship deal to cover that. So
Geoff, go ahead. I feel like you were trying to say something there.
No, I was going to say that last few games with Ronaldo, his shooting boots hasn't been where it should be. He missed from 12 yards. He missed a penalty, didn't he? A few games ago, he missed a penalty, and then a few other games as well when there were easy opportunities for him to score, he passed, and it was like, well, why are you doing that? And it's sort of like he needs to get back to at the start of the season when he was scoring week in, week out. I think it was at the start. When he scoring week in, week out.
Yeah, like a spell of like he had the Newcastle game, then the West Ham game.
Right.
Yeah. And then then he just went down a bit, didn't he? Yeah. Then he went a bit then he didn't. Then it was 6 games he didn't score, which is the first time that Ronaldo hasn't done that.
Yeah, so there was that stint where he wasn't scoring. But I think what the fans, especially in the chat here, we have Brocky here saying it's simple, just remove the goals and point CR7 has presented us, then compare. There was another comment up here about let me get this here. Second fan says couldn't have got where Man United are right now without CR7 and David De Gea. I think
without De Gea we wouldn't be where we are now.
Right. I mean, the conversation about David De Gea and his importance to this side over the years since Sir Alex Ferguson's left, we can go on and on and on about that. But I think the general consensus between us and the chat right now is that Cristiano Ronaldo, if he's available, he has to start. I think Solo hit the nail on the head. I think Solo hit the nail on the head before about how important he is and just what he offers us. Avenger Mass says wise words 0 degrees. Yeah, I mean he was spitting bars there. I like that. If you guys can spit like that, you guys drop comments all day. We're gonna move on to talking a little bit about Everton. Of course, Everton is a side that haven't been performing at all. They were going through a difficult patch, and what did they decide to do? They decided to go after. This is what Joe wrote here to me. Fat Frank Lampard. Let's talk a little about Fat Frank then. And I'll start with you, Solo. Do you think Everton have any sort of opportunities going forward to stay in the Premier League, or do you think they're going down? And you just give it to me short and sweet.
Well, I'd say what an amazing appointment it was. It was a fan choice as well, wasn't it? So it was beautiful. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And after losing against Burnley, his statement afterwards saying that we've got United next, and for United, don't think they're going to lay down and basically let them roll over. Well, Burnley rolled them over after being 2-0 up. So there you go, short and sweet. We're going to smash them.
Exactly. Jared, I'll come to you. Do you think Frank Lampard? I want to actually focus a little bit on Frank Lampard's comparison to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The neutral footballing world took so much of their energy comparing the two and saying that Ole got sacked, whatever. Frank Lampard, it seems like everywhere he goes, things are not going well for him. Do you think Everton made the right choice in signing Frank Lampard, and do you think they'll stay up, or do you think they're going to go down here?
I think that's tough. I think that with Chelsea, he did develop some of the younger players when during his time there, but I think for a relegation fight, I'm not sure that Lampard would have been my choice, just to be that close to the zone, and bringing in somebody who has been who was just sacked or recently sacked like that. I don't think he would have been my choice to do that. I would have preferred somebody who has who has had some more experience down fighting every game, trying to get some kind of point, some kind of result. So it wouldn't have been my choice.
Yeah. 8563 Robbie says, I hope you guys beat Everton, and that's coming from a Leeds fan. Shout outs to Leeds fans. Shout outs to not Manchester United fans tuning into a Manchester United preview. You guys are, damn, the Breaking Brigade. You guys are freaking amazing. Holy shit. Anyways, 8563 also says Lampard has no managerial credentials. He has the worst CV in the Prem. Nathan, we'll come to you. Do you think Lampard was worse than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? And by the way, before I go, I just want to include something here. I actually met Frank Lampard. I used to work with a YouTuber by the name of Jimmy Conrad. He's a big deal here in the States, and we got to go interview Frank Lampard. He was a wonderful fella. He was really nice, and I've met people. I've met celebrities. I've met famous people, and I've met some people who are absolute tossers. And he was nothing like that. He was a good fella, but I thought I had a little bit of a soft spot for him. But everywhere he goes, everywhere the Frank Lampard light touches, it seems to go down the shitter. So Nathan, talk to me. Do you think he has no managerial credentials according to Robbie here? Do you think he has the worst CV? What do you think? Give me some of your thoughts on fat Frank Lampard.
Well, do you know what's really mad? I just talking about game in general, right? So United have won 3 in the last 11, but it's the sort of game where United would lose. It wouldn't surprise you if Everton do turn up and beat United. But in terms of Lampard, it's a case of he obviously got the Chelsea job on the back of what he did at Derby County because he got them to the playoff final. But what people tend to forget is that he sort of did a similar thing to what Pochettino did in the Champions League final. So the guy who got him, who he brought off the bench to make an impact against Leeds United in the semi-final, grabbed an important. I think he grabbed 2 goals that day. Jack Marriott decides to drop him for a striker who you can't hit a barn door, and then Lord behold, they get beat in the final 2-1, and then he brings on that same striker in the final and he scores. And it's like, well done. If you started him, you probably would have won. But I think, you know what I mean. But I think in general, it was a weird sort of decision to appoint Lampard, and also the signings. Like if you look at like the amount of money they've spent as a club, on 35 million on Iwobi, Dele Alli could potentially be 40 million, but by the looks of it, they're definitely not giving Tottenham 40 million for Dele Alli. You see the amount of players they run through the club, and then like I said, signing like Dele Alli in January, and I'm sat there thinking, if that's a Lampard approved move, why would you sign a player like Dele Alli who's clearly never been up for a relegation fight? You don't know where his mentality is. He's not going to probably perform with the way his career trajectory is going down anyway. It was just a strange move all around. But then, Lampard, his running for the next 8 games. Well, you could arguably say the easy game is United on Saturday. With the way things are going. But yeah, Lampard in general, he's one of those managers where he's obviously overhyped because he's English. That definitely the English media bias sort of
I think he's overhyped because he's good looking. I mean, I do spectacular work on YouTube, but nobody recognizes me because I'm a 5 at best. You know what I mean? Joe, on the other hand, that dude is damn good looking.
I mean, I was going to say 6 there, John Shin, but I was
oh shit! All right, you give me one more, I'll give you that.
But no, I think Lampard's one of these managers that since he's an ex-player, former sort of English darling, in the midfield of the golden generation, that completely failed. But I won't get into that. He's very overhyped by the English media compared to other managers, because if you look at the guy Leeds have just got, Jesse Marsh, he's come in a sort of similar sort of situation team where Leeds are struggling down the bottom of the table. He's assured things defensively. They look better under him than they did under the latter spells of Bielsa. And he's shown that you don't need to be a big name in the footballing world to really sort of provide an impact on the team. But yeah. I'm obviously saying all this, knowing the fact that Everton are beating Man United 1-0 on Saturday. So we can
damn.
So
Yeah.
so Nathan talks like this, and then he's like, "Boom!" and he just drops it. Did you just see that?
Damn.
Drop the mic. He's dropped the mic.
Oh well, Gio,
Well,
then talk to me.
am I lying though? Are we going to sit here afterwards and go, do you know what? Not surprised.
That's you got.
I'm saying nothing at the moment. I'm keeping quiet.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you after the game.
Yeah.
So
we'll do
Michael
that.
Keane is back for this game, correct?
I
You
believe
should
so.
be,
Yes.
yes.
And Alon?
What a big addition that is.
Well, you know what? There are players here that I would take Keane over.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
I
there's
can think
there's
of
I'll
one.
take one player. I'll take a player to swap him with Keane as well. That's me. I think we all know exactly what player we're talking about.
Yeah, but we'll hold that. We'll hold that for
Ronaldo.
another time. But let's not drop the name here. Gio, I'll come to you. Give me your thoughts on Frank Lampard. Should we be scared for Everton, or do you think Manchester United are going to be comfortable going against fat? Frank?
No, I think United will be comfortable. When you was comparing Ollie and Lampard, if you think Ollie owned Lampard, really, didn't he? Beat him 3 times out of 4.
Yeah.
Especially in the, I remember, wasn't it start of the season of last season? We beat them 4. Was it 4-1 in the end? Wasn't it?
That's
To
right.
us.
First game 1920, weren't it? Like,
Right.
first
Yeah.
game, both of them in a proper charge.
And
It was
we
like
just
4-0
absolutely-
United, yeah.
And then we just absolutely, from then on, we just absolutely owned. Ollie absolutely owned Lampard, put him in his back pocket. So,
And
it
in
looks
the
like
end of
it
the
looks
draw-
like now that Lampard is carrying on the tradition what he did at Chelsea with Everton. So it's all working out brilliant.
I love that. All right, I wanna focus a little bit more on the match now, and then we'll wrap up the entire show. And I want to get your thoughts on Ten Hag. Chat as well. If you guys let me know let me know in the chat what your thoughts are on Fat Frank. I don't like Fat Frank. I want to call him something else. But let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think Everton's going to be a tough match? Do you think we're gonna do well here? We'll do score
Pudgy
predictions a little. Pudgy Frankie, I like that.
Luscious Lampard. No, that's a bit rough.
Yikes. Okay. Scouty resident Everton spent $500 million in 6 years. Think what Liverpool City and Chelsea would do with that. I'm assuming Scouty Red is on the red side of Liverpool. So taking his pick there.
Unless he supports Tranmere, but yeah.
Batman Night Fan says we will win 2-0. So I'm assuming he thinks that Everton is going to be an easy game. But we're going to move into comments from Rangnick in his I like to call him Uncle Rang, but we're gonna move into Rangnick's comments in this press conference. He said, and I quote, "I think this is the press conference for tomorrow's game." What the hell does that mean? And I don't think I don't intend to speak about any new managers here. As far as I know, all the managers that the club has spoken with so far are all top managers, top coaches. If this includes Erik ten Hag, it's also true with him. That's all I can say at this stage. For me, it's about preparing the team for tomorrow's game and the 3 points tomorrow. Of course, he's obviously referring to Erik ten Hag, which I feel like we want to kind of hold for later down the line. But Rangnick has been a manager that seems to be very straightforward in the most weirdest of sense. He's not straightforward like Roy Keane. He's straightforward like I don't even know what it is. Like if Roy Keane is a punch in the face, I think Rangnick is like
a little tickle.
I don't even know if it's a tickle. I think he like Rangnick is like he like pinches your nipple or something. It's weird. It's a weird sensation. It's a weird sensation with Rangnick. And in some moments where you feel like, all right, he's very refreshing. He's a manager that we need. He's not afraid to, call out things when it comes to the board up top. He's very refreshing, but at times he's also just kind of like, But what are your thoughts on Rangnick's approach to his managerial stint at Manchester United? And I'll go with you, Solo. Do you think Rangnick has been a success? Do you think he's been a failure? Just give me your quick thoughts on that.
A lot of people in the comments on some of the panels might think it's actual failure, but I don't think it is a failure. And the reason I don't think it's a failure is because of once he finished his 6 months initial, what then he will then do, then he'll go upstairs. He will then know when the new manager come into the club, say, right, bad apple, bad apple, bad apple, bad apple, get rid of that. And almost like he's rebuilding. So right now, everything he's doing on the pitch, all these players are sitting there trying to be lazy, some of them. They're not understanding the consequences, what comes next. And the consequences will be, it's about him rebuilding Manchester United from the ground upwards. And his appointment for me, goals again. We stopped leaking in stupid goals. We sorted out the defense. The only issue we have at the moment as Manchester United fans and a club, we can't score goals without Cristiano Ronaldo. Apart from that, if we had someone who could bury those chances, since he's been in charge of Manchester United, we are top in the Premier League when it comes to creating chances.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but
I know, I'm
Flabby-
reading the comment. The comment is
Flabby-
there.
Flabby-
The comment is there.
Don't
Don't
kick
threw me off. That's so casual. Like, yeah, I'll pop a pinch of nipples coming in.
Yeah,
there while
I
you
just
go.
had to do that. Sorry,
You
we've been
can't
messing
say
around.
you don't like that, Nathan. You can't say you don't like an occasion.
Damn
Come on
right.
now.
Damn right.
Ah, fair play. Yeah, fair play. You got me. You got me.
All right, sorry. We've been wasting too much time with my nonsense. We got to keep moving here. We'll talk a little bit about the team news. Of course, Everton will welcome back Michael Keane and Alan after suspensions. Donny van de Beek, our very own Donny van de Beek, will be unavailable because, of course, we are his parent club. But I also think he's also injured, which is why he probably won't be available. Andrews Townsend, Tom Davies, Yerry Mina, all decent names on paper. They all will be sidelined and unavailable. And we talked a lot about Cristiano Ronaldo being available for selection. Let's do like a reaction to my starting 11, and then you guys can just kind of give me your thoughts. I'm going to go with David De Gea in goal. I got a back four of Alex Telles, Lindelof, Maguire, and Dalot. Lindelof because, of course, Varane is going to be injured. And a midfield three, I'm going for Fred, Pogba, and Fernandes in the 10 with Elanga on the right, Sancho on the left, and CR7 up top. Right off the top, Nathan, what do you think? Do you like that 11? Would you make any changes?
The only one I genuinely like this because I'm mad, but the only one I genuinely make is probably Pogba, maybe because you can tell his heart's not in it. Like we talked about earlier about how Rashford's head's not in it and stuff like that, and we drop him. It's like Pogba's literally come out and said the season's dead. My time at United's been dead. So it's like, well, playing him just for the sake of playing him in the hopes that, it might improve the team or it might sort of spur him to like magically do a U-turn and sign a new contract. I don't see the point. We need players now that are just going to be just basically die for the cause because, like, who else do you have in midfield? So do you have Fred? I
have Fred and Pogba in the holding situation, but Fred and Pogba. But you're saying that you'd take Pogba out. And
it's only because I don't know about you. Like, it's coming to the point where I think I'm just sick and tired of the media circus around it. You've clearly said you don't want to play. Why play a player who's actively just come out and gone, yeah, I don't want to play. Do you know what I mean? If United do have a chance of the top four, you're important for the running. You don't want players that are going to give literally about 25% on the pitch. Because you know what you're going to get with Pogba. We've been saying for so many years. It's like, he'll drop a 10 out of 10 performance, like our best midfielder in the world. He'll drop a 4 out of 10 performance. That's the inconsistencies we've had with Pogba. Now it's just a case of, well, if he's going to go, if you are going to use him towards the end of the season, use him. But I wouldn't use him that much, is what people would probably think.
So Avenger Mass here saying Pogba's head not in it. I agree. Jared, I'll come to you. Do you think Pogba is one of those players that should not be starting this game against Everton? Did you like my 11? What are your thoughts?
You know what? I feel like Pogba is a world-class talent, and he hasn't shown that consistently for us. But me personally, I feel like to create as many chances as we need to score goals, we need Pogba in the lineup. That's my opinion.
Okay, I like
Certainly
that.
agree.
All right, go ahead, Gio. What do you think? Talk to us.
I was going to say I agree with that comment. What Case Slater said. Like, as much as his head is not in it, he's one of the great passers. He can do a great pass. Isn't he the for Manchester United alone, the one of the top assists?
Yes.
So it's even though that I don't really want him there no more, we need him.
Hey, Jules, I guess your position is kind of similar similar to Rangnick in the sense that it's not about emotions and vibes. It's about end product. They're working for a club. They're working for a company that, or I can't believe I'm using the word company here, but we're just using the comparison sake. If you're an employee of a company, you're not there for the vibes. And you're not there for having a good time. You're there to perform. And Rangnick is very similar in that sense that he doesn't give a damn if you shit on Manchester United, if you say Manchester United this season has been dead, he doesn't care. If you're going to produce results on the pitch, he's going to make you play, and that's Uncle Rangnick's approach in that sense. We'll wrap this up with your thoughts, Solo. Did you like the 11? Would you make changes to that?
Well, I had my 11 as well, so I went for
Go ahead.
De Gea.
We'll talk about that.
I did De Gea, Maguire, Lindelof. I did Telles, Dalot. I did Matic, Fred, Bruno. I've had Jadon Sancho, Ronaldo, Rashford on the right.
Okay, so you would start Rashford. Interesting.
Yeah, I would start Rashford on the right.
Okay, well, I got an interesting take here from Tekken Fan. Says I played Varane injured over Maguire. I second this thought. I second this.
I'll play Phil Jones over Maguire.
I'll play me.
Oh yeah, same here.
I'll play me over Harry Maguire. Trust me, you guys ain't seen me. They call me the Queen's. Who's a good center back? Maldini.
Here we go.
Sorry, had to include that in there. Scouty Red says Pogba has scored the same amount of goals as Maguire has scored own goals this season. Simon Matthews says nope, world class. Lulz laughing emoji. I guess Flabby G says here Pogba isn't even helping himself. Like it's already arranged that he's headed to PSG. He's no Balotelli and will get his career back in track in Paris. I kind of blame Jose, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think the whole conversation of Pogba, the vibes with respect to Pogba completely deteriorated during Jose's sort of capitulating years. You know, that third season syndrome. When that starts really kicking in, Jose just needed somebody, and Pogba was just that guy. It was really bad vibes all around, and it's a damn shame that things haven't worked out. But for me, I have a soft spot for Pogba. I really like Paul Pogba, and I think he's one of those players that we really needed to get the best out of. We spent a lot of money to bring him back from Juventus, and I think from a team's perspective, from a board's perspective, if you're going to bring somebody like that back, you have to build a team around somebody like him. And I think Manchester United have completely waffled it in that sense. So it's been a bit tough. David Keating says, "Oh, how the might have fallen. Man United unsure if they can beat bottom of the table opposition at the rag end of the season." Hey, sometimes it can't all be green roses. Green roses. It can't be all grass and red roses, right?
So what roses are you looking at if they're green?
I'm out of it.
They're green. They're green. Come on now.
And my shirt is rainbow right now. You can't see this? All right, guys. We're going to start to slowly wrap this show up. But, of course, chat, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. What are we at? Like 44 likes? Smash it. Damn it. Smash it. Joe told me Joe told me if this video gets over 100 likes, he's gonna send me a box of Sunday roast that his mom cooks him every Sunday. So please, I love Sunday roast.
Where's our incentive for coming on the show?
I'll if he sends it to me, I'll cut a portion and I'll send it back to you guys. Hopefully you can.
John, can I ask a question to everybody real quick though?
Go ahead.
Who do you think is going to be like the player that is going to give us the performance? If you believe in a win, other than Nathan, if you believe in a win tomorrow, who's going to be the player to deliver it?
Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
I like that. Jadon Sancho is for me personally. Jadon Sancho has been a personal favorite of mine this season.
I'll Everton's defense.
I've got another one actually as well, and that's Fred.
Well, go ahead. Nathan, we'll start with you. What were you saying?
Yeah, Everton's defense. Probably
that's what you were saying. Okay. Gio, what were you saying?
I was going to say there's an tell you the truth, Fred as well.
I was going to say my boy Fred as well. That's my boy.
Yeah, Stephen Kelly in the chat.
It.
Yeah,
yep,
saying Fred as well.
He has actually done massively well. In the last few games that I've seen him.
Fred has been a player that, for me, has. I don't want to bring up a girlfriend relationship again, but once you guys start, dropping the F-bombs after dating 4 years, and once you guys start saying oh, your breath stinks, oh, I hated your mom anyway. Once those comments start coming out, the relationship's over. Pogba was that with me for Manchester United. I thought Fred was going to be at that point when he was absolutely stinking it up, but he has turned his season around. I'm still not completely convinced, to be quite honest with you, but what I'm seeing right now, in this moment, in a crucial point in our season, what we're seeing with Fred is nothing but pure positivity, the energy, the enthusiasm, the passion. We see it all there. And to wrap all that up, we're seeing that with a bit of end product, which is very important. You can have all the passion and all the ridiculous energy in the world, but if you're playing like shit, then we don't care if you're freaking ripping the shirt out and kissing the badge. If you're playing like shit, then you're playing like shit. But Fred is actually playing very well on top of the passion and on top of the positivity, which I respect and love so much from Fred.
Did you see? Sorry to interrupt.
ahead,
Did you
go
see
ahead.
when he moved though? Against Leicester City, when he went in that number 8 role,
Mhm.
how much better he was. That's his position.
And he does pretty well in that position at times when Brazil likes to experiment with Fred
Yeah.
in that pocket of space. You don't really see him as a natural 6 because of his small stature. I think, especially in the Premier League, as a 6, you can't use Fred in that role. You need to keep him robust. You need to keep him moving up and down the channels, because if you sit him in that pocket and a counterattack comes, Fred is not your guy to hold that down. That's why Matic has been such a powerful natural holding midfielder, just purely based on his distribution, his awareness, and of course his physical attributes and all that good stuff. But
He's a brilliant bench player, brilliant squad player. I would keep Fred. But I just
Give me 11 Fred, we'll win the league.
oh shit! Oh, that's hot. Yikes.
You do realize one of those friends has to play CDM, right? And we have all seen it like happen.
Eddie,
I don't
football-
care as long as we can see that sexy move in against Atletico Madrid on the byline. To tell you the truth, I don't care.
I always used to roast Fred about how I thought he was a fake Brazilian, but once he whipped that saucy move on versus Atletico, I was like, oh shit, Jogo Bonito's back. Let's give him his passport back. I have his passport right here. I'll give it back to him because damn, that was Brazilian as hell. I love that. Eddie in the chat saying, "Lol, Errol's still Fred's biggest stan." Yep. Look, I'm gonna put my hands up. Like I said before, Fred is he deserves that respect and love. Susan says, I agree. Brocky also says Fred has finally applied for his Brazilian visa. I'll give him back his passport. Oh wow, Errol would give Fred the captaincy, and he's saying hell yeah, he would.
I would.
Yeah, and Stephen Kelly says he scored important goals too. Look, at the end of the day, the vibes have to be positive and the vibes have to be secured. In my work across YouTube and across the social media platform, I always use this hashtag immaculate vibes. And I think the vibes have to be immaculate against Everton. It's a side that we know we should be getting a result in any other given day, especially during Sir Alex Ferguson's reign. I guarantee you, none of you would have predicted an Everton draw or an Everton win, maybe even scoring. You guys would have said, oh, we're going to smash them 5-0, 6-0. The vibes are not like that now, but hopefully we can get a good result against Everton. So I'm gonna try and wrap the show up with a score prediction here, and I'll get us started here. I'm gonna go for a 2-0 result. I think Manchester United, it's that point in that up and down weird roller coaster where we're gonna wake up because that performance against Leicester was so bad. We're gonna wake up and then we're gonna go poorly again. But we're going here right now. You know, we're going up this, so we're here right now. And I think Manchester United are gonna keep a clean sheet. I think we're gonna score 2 goals. Yeah, and it's very important that they do that because I bet $50 that Manchester United were going to score 2-0 and win. So hopefully I make money. But we'll go over to you. Can I even speak about things like that? I don't even know. Joe, I'm sorry if I Joe. I'm sorry. But anyways,
we do not endorse gambling. We'll put like a little restricted message at the bottom. Saying,
please gamble responsibly. Please gamble responsibly. We are not endorsing any company. All that good stuff. You know the disclaimer, all that shit. Anyways, Nathan, we'll come to you. What are your thoughts? Give me a score prediction there.
Don't tell me 1-0 Everton.
He gave out 1-0 Everton, right?
I came to Nathan first because I want the rest of y'all to give me a Manchester United win. I want him to lay down, that base layer first.
Oh, head or heart, head or heart, head or heart. 2-2.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I see Jared.
I literally sat so far on the fence, it's giving me splinters, but I don't care. It's fine. It's fine.
Aaron says 3-0 to Man United. Jared, talk to me. What's your scoreline?
2-1 United.
Okay. You sharing the same thoughts as Steven here. He says 2-1 to Everton. Oh shit! He threw a curveball at me. I was reading 2-1. I thought he was gonna say Man United. He wrote Everton. Okay.
I'm
Oh,
just
well-
proud that all of us as a panel could convince Nathan that United wasn't going to lose, right? Because earlier he was 1-0, and then we turned him to 2-2. At least we did something.
Yep,
Because
yep.
the words Michael Keane popped into my head, and I went, okay, yeah, you might be
Solo, talk to me. What's your scoreline prediction?
Oh God.
It's never a good sign. It's never a good
My
sign.
heart, you know what? Yeah, my heart is telling me that we are gonna draw 2-2, but my head, I'm gonna go with 3-1 United, and
go.
Fred to get at least one, Ronaldo to get one, and Jaden to get one as well.
Wow, I
and
love that.
we got to remember as well, guys. We do not, as Man United, we do not like lunchtime kickoffs as well. So,
I don't know. It means
piling the pressure on. Pardon?
It means everyone has to get up early as well. That's what no one likes.
Hey, I don't know about you guys, but for Jared and myself, it's a 7:30 kickoff. So,
Oh no, it's 12:30 kickoff for me. I'm fine.
yeah.
We're fine out, yeah.
David.
Dave Keating says 0-2 to United. Johnny says 1-1. Yeah, very interesting predictions here, guys. Very interesting. Mickey Kramer says yes, Solo 3-1. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Brocky says both to score and over 2.5. Is that a betting thing, guys?
That's a betting app. That's betting. That's definitely betting.
Yeah, let's not do the betting thing, guys. Guys, if make sure you're of age. Be responsible. I got to do all the disclaimer stuff. I don't want to get in trouble by Joe saying, "Why the hell did you talk about betting?" Gio, we'll come to you. What's your scoreline predictions?
I'm actually going to be more positive. I'm going 4-1.
4-1. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, I really. Well, 4-0. Tell you the truth, like between 4-0 and 4-1, we always concede. Come on, we got Maguire in the back.
All right, cool.
Let's keep it real. We got Maguire in the back. He's gonna fuck something up, innit?
I'll give you that.
Seriously, it's.
Primo says 5:30 a.m. Look, we were complaining about 7:30. I'd like to put my hands up and say, my bad. 5:30. That's a yikes. Holy shit. Big ups to you guys, especially around the world. If you guys are tuning in, appreciate you guys as always supporting the channel, supporting these guys, supporting Joe. I think it's very important that you guys continue to stay active and just, share your thoughts, because I think discussions are what makes Manchester United fans so fun. I've been on other fan channels where I was talking to those fans and they are absolutely miserable. Anyways, guys, that's enough for us for today. It's been a fantastic show, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. If you guys have not yet done so, hit that notification bell so you guys are staying always up to date on whenever Joe's going live. I've seen him go live at like the ass crack of dawn. Joe, I don't know what the hell are you doing, man. Get some sleep. Jeez. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all that juicy stuff. We'll go around the table. We'll start with you, Solo. Where can the people find you?
Absolute pleasure being back on. Thank you so much, Flying Pig, for having me back on the channel. Guys, if you're new to this channel, hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. You can find myself on the Man United Agenda on YouTube, and also you can find me on Twitter at the Man United Agenda as well. Thank you for having me on, and great panel, great show today, guys. Really appreciate that.
Beautiful professional. You keep everything so professional, and I'm here talking about pinching nipples. We'll go over to you, Joe. G, where can people find you?
A boy can dream, John. A boy can dream.
Simon Matthews, Donny is not going to be playing because 1, he's injured, and 2, he's ineligible because of his own loan.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So he won't be playing. But yeah, you can find me at G Wolf United Gaming. I do GTA streams and Rocket League.
Awesome.
And any others. So just come in. Good vibes there.
Hell yeah. Good vibes always. Guys, the chat, there will be links, all of them, in the description below, so you guys can go find them. But Nathan, where can people find you, my man? At
Best Jono on Twitter. I don't really tweet much apart from just stupid stuff, so that's really interesting. I started streaming as well. I did a FIFA stream last week. I'm planning to do a Football Manager stream. It was supposed to be tonight, but something's like cropped up. I can't really say online, but I'll be doing that tomorrow. So I'll be taking my local club, who are currently in real life bottom of the championship behind Derby County, to the Premier League. So yeah,
let's get it going.
Yeah, I'll literally show that I'm a better manager than fat Frank Lampard, who works in a butcher's.
Nathan just twisting the knife.
Brocky says, subscriber from South Africa. Shout outs to Brocky. My goodness, we're going international, boys. I love it. Jared, where can people find you, my man?
Twitter at Harkes, Harkes, and I circle around these boys because they all produce fantastic content. And John, you know, whether it's COD streams or your United things, or speaking them on social issues. If you want talk on social issues or anything else, John Shin.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And guys, if you guys want to find me, you guys can find me talking absolute nonsense, as you guys may have pretty much understood from my hosting today, at Mr. Johnson on Twitter. All the good stuff. All the links for these wonderful fellas will be in the description below. Thank you all so much. Hopefully Maisie can come back and slot in, because my goodness, I suck at this. Anyways, have a great day. Have a great rest of your day, evening. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, smash that damn subscribe and like button. And yeah, that's it from us. We'll see y'all next time. Take it easy.
Peace.
See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.
You can't see mine.